Hi, welcome to Full Circle. I am Amethyst or Sage. So we're doing the fire sign collective horoscope readings for the energy of 2025. I've already done the water signs, that's up. So this video will go for about 20 minutes, okay? So I'm using a variety of different decks today. I've actually just ordered a stand before I've done this video. It'll be here in about a week. Then I'll be able to use both hands and have a bit of a neater setup. I'm using the Urban Crow Oracle today, and I'm using the Green Witch Oracle, but I'm also using the Green Witches Oracle. Lol. I'm not surprised that both of these, made by two different people, mind you, but I'm not surprised both of these cards I selected to do this because, as I said in the water signs, it's about coming back to nature this year. It's about resetting and coming right back to self and stripping all that negativity and things that aren't necessary in your life away. I'm also using the Sacred Symbols for Divination and Meditation Oracle. Really cool deck. What else? I've got a couple of others here. A Kyle Gray deck. We've got Raise Your Vibration deck. And we're also using Your Feelings Are Valid Oracle. Okay? And if I've missed anything, oh, yes, I have. Everybody, every element will get one angel number card to work with that number for the year. All right? So I'm just going to put my legs out because I'm sitting on my floor. Like I said, I've just ordered a stand. Now, automatically, there is some real intellectual vibes coming in for the fire signs for 2025. Even with the first card that I will be drawing, I shuffled and two came out. So automatically there's a sense of having order and checking your references and making sure you've backed up your information and you're looking at things from that intellectual space this year. Of course, we all have emotion, but you need to come from that intellectual maturity opposed to an emotional intelligence this year. Really come from that standpoint of it is what it is, or I need to get this done, or it's nothing personal, it's strictly business, etc. Shout out to some goddesses and deities and titans. I've dedicated this channel to Lilith, Hekate, Bastet, Isis, Sekhmet, because these are the feminine spirits that I have worked with over the last couple of years, and they've just really helped me transform myself. And Hekate is calling on everyone this year. She's really trying to do a collective sweep to call in her troops to get her people organized, and that could be a genuine message for you. Okay, henceforth the blackbird is also a representation of her. Lilith might also come up in this reading. Let's go. First card. So your first card, your overall message, your overall mantra for this year is growth, all right? You need to come from that energy in that space of growth. There's an outside vibe here, obviously. There's 4, 5, 6, 7 birds here. 7 could mean something to you, or 7 might just be an end of a cycle. I learned many years ago that your life goes in cycles of 7 years. I don't know if that's true now, but it is, particularly with children. That's when some kids get to the age of 7 or 8 and then they're not really talking about the spirits they see in the room or what have you, right? Picking up people's pregnancies and stuff. That's when that shift can happen and they get real heavy into the 3D. That could be a message specifically for somebody watching this. Again, this is for the fire signs. So it's about growth for you this year. And I know that sounds really cliche, but there's spirit watching you. There's Hekate there. She's up in the spirit realms looking out over you, pouring energy and light down over you. She's protecting you. You've got ancestors, other gods, goddesses, deities, whoever you work with, spirit beings. They're really guiding you at this time. And there's somebody down here in the 3D with you that is going to come into your life who you have not met yet, Source is saying, to help you with this growth. Now, you might decide to go to counselling, or something like that. You might meet somebody that just really helps change your perspective sometime this year, bearing in mind the year is 365 odd days. Okay, it's not necessarily going to happen in February. Just be open to that, and they might appear differently than what you anticipate. But these red flowers and white flowers could also mean something, or these blocks of units could mean something. You might go to a place that looks sort of like this, or like a portion of this, and you think, wow, this is deja vu. That's the energy coming through. There's a real Asian vibe going up here as well. It's almost like cherry blossoms. If that means something to you, great. If not, just disregard the message. But you're getting guided this year to have growth. You're getting nudged to step through the very thin veil between emotion and intellect. And not an emotional intellect, as in your brain intellect, your thought processes this year. It's very important. You could make a genuine mistake with something you desire or decide to do if you're running from that space of emotion, okay? So like I said, 2 cards came out when I shuffled for this particular deck, and the other card for you to work on, the other word for you to work with this year is insight. So you've got growth and you've got insight. 23, 26, that could mean something to you. I love this. It kind of reminds me of a brain, actually. Wow, hang on a minute. Just let me have a closer look at that. Huh. Cool. So it kind of reminds me of a brain, and like I'm saying, come from that space of emotional intel, but from the mindset, not from the heart space. Again, we've got that shining light going around as we do in this card. You are really, really guided. Hekate is really, really stepping into your life this year. Either passively or not so passively, you'll know the difference. Just ask for a sign that she's around. It's usually birds like this. There's some fairy lights going on here. You might be dealing with the fairy realm, or you might feel like you need to delve into the fairy realm. You might be feeling a little lost this year. You could probably feel like, you know, you don't fit in, or you know, your home space doesn't really feel like your home space, and Spirit's saying that's because you're having some growth. It can't help that. This mightn't be anything wrong with your home environment. Things might be okay, but you just might feel a bit agitated in your body and in your skin. And Spirit's saying to do a lot of meditations this year, to do a lot of mindset binaurals and frequencies and things like that. Again, working on the mind space, not so much the feelings of things. Okay, cool. That's cool. Having said that, excuse me, throat chakra, as a psychology student, every thought creates an emotion anyway. Just having some black coffee. All right. Your next card is Moss Agate. Cool card. Kind of looks like earth, eh? Positivity and change. Yeah, well, we've got that growth energy there. Butterfly there, or a moth, more likely a butterfly. Transformation. You might need to grab some moss agate, or at the very least learn about what moss agate brings to the table for you, what moss agate will help do in your life, in your auric field, in your energy, and just work with moss agate this particular year for 2025. But there is positivity and change coming. Again, don't get so overwhelmed with bullshit that goes on around you where it knocks you off your perch, okay, where it knocks you over emotionally. Really come from that standpoint this year of intellect. It doesn't mean you have to be cold, but it does mean you have to protect your feelings this year, protect your emotions, and don't let people try and pick on you or bully or push you around, right? Particularly in the work setting. And then we've got B, beautiful. I've got a B tattooed on my body. Community, cooperation, and sweetness. Right. Well, there's the community. It mightn't be the community in the 3D. Someone's gonna have major issues communicating this year, and I think that's a learning lesson for you, particularly whoever's hearing this, because I'm struggling to get my words out. My throat's closed over a bit. You can hear the difference in my voice. Yeah, it's like you've got, you know, a frog in your throat is a saying, like you can't sort of swallow properly. And I'm struggling to get my words out. So be really mindful of that. But there's your community. Your community might necessarily be in the 3D. Somebody in the 3D is coming in though, because there's 2 people down the bottom here, right? But there's your B community there. There's community, cooperation, and sweetness, okay? This really come because you've got positive change coming, right? But you have to work on that. There is a hive there. Again, that's community. You might decide to volunteer or go join Pilates or do a cooking class or learn to be a mechanic as a side gig or what have you. Again, I just need to clarify, all my readings, I do speak gender specific as in feminine, masculine, he, she, but please don't take that as a disregard. This is all gender fluid. But when I'm dealing with deities and spirit animals and angelics and things like that, I will mention gender. And if gender does need to come through specific as the old school original male, female, that will get mentioned. No disregard to anybody that's on a completely separate journey. You're welcome here. This is a safe space for you. Me, my channel, my groups, what have you, right? And that could be a message for somebody as well. So we've got forgiveness. Oh. Ooh, okay. So interestingly enough, in my original water sign video, the forgiveness card also came out in a different deck. But it was a forgiveness of yourself for not being prepared at the time to take on something, or not being mentally or emotionally ready to accept something, or not being able to get out of a situation at a specific time, right? In this particular instance, actually, this looks like Kuan Yin, the goddess, right? You might need to work with Kuan Yin. Thank you for coming through. It definitely is her today on this card. This forgiveness card for the fire signs for 2025 is actually about forgiving other people. If you can't bring yourself to forgive other people, forgive the situation. Nobody's asking to, and as I looked at my clock, it said 11:11, right? Ticking over to 11:12 it went. It's not about forgiving the creepy uncle who's done things you shouldn't have in your childhood, okay? That's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about people that also didn't know better at the time for the choices that they were making. Somebody that had an addiction 5 years ago that other people in their life are still trying to bring that up, but you're sitting back going, well, I forgive the choices that they made. That's the space they were in at the time. Who am I to judge that? They've got their life on track or what have you, right? It's coming from that space of forgiveness. You don't have to forgive, you know, the abusive partner or whatever it is. You don't have to think forgiveness is a way to be trampled on, or you don't have to forgive and then feel as though, well, I made a forgiveness pact with that person within myself, within my own mindset. Therefore, I'm going to have to endure going through bullshit again. Absolutely not. You really need to have that growth this year. You really need to come around full circle from that, right? You need to have that growth and come from that inner insight. Use your brain. Think about things. Think things through. But that's beautiful. Thank you, Kuan Yin. She's dropping pennies everywhere. I can hear little pennies dropping down. Tink, 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 tink. You might need to light a candle for Kuan Yin. You might need to light some incense. Google who she is, what she does. In my community here, in my city, just out of the city, there is an absolutely massive, massive statue of her at a temple, a Kuan Yin temple. It is, for the Buddhist temple, one of them. Anyway, this statue would be 25 meters tall, you know, and 2 meters wide. She is huge, right? You might need to work with her at this time, particularly for this year, obviously. Now we're going to go into the Your Feelings Are Valid Oracle. This is a really cute deck, and it cost me $4, right? So the first card we've got is Renewal. Let me have a look. Reflection. Gratitude. And love. All right, give me a sec. Cool, thanks, Spirit. Let me have a look. Yep, so as I've said, there's growth here. There's positivity, there's change, there's growth, there's insight, there's some forgiveness happening here, okay? That will renew you. Things will flow better for you. You'll have that renewal. You'll come through that darkness and go, you know what, it's time. I've got to let go of shit. It's not enhancing my way of life. It's not increasing my capacity to function. In fact, it's hindering my mental space. I feel stressed. I feel uncomfortable. I have anxiety. I feel uneasy. I don't feel relaxed when I'm around that person or at that situation or at that specific venue. So this year, you really need to renew that contract with yourself. You really need to look at it and go, okay, maybe you actually might need to do some Akashic record stuff this year, particularly fire signs. You might need to actually go do a couple of Akashic meditations on YouTube and things like that. I recommend YouTube for absolutely everything. You can find so much stuff in here. I have thousands and thousands of different things saved in different playlists on my YouTube, right? Just ridiculous, because it's everything I need. Come from that space of reflection. That's the insight card there. That's a confirmation that is confirming that for you, because you need to have gratitude. You need to be grateful. So the situation might have been shit for you in your life, or you might be going through an upheaval somehow. If I looked at my clock ticking over, it said 14:44, right? You need to come from that space of gratitude. You really need to know that what you've gone through, or what you can go through this year in particular, is nobody's business. You need to go, I thank you, Spirit, for giving me the, you know, the availability or the capacity to have discernment, to really let go of things and have some inner reflection, to find out how I can renew myself to really push through the next couple of years of my life. Make like a 5-year plan. I mean, we can't always stick to a 5-year plan. Make a 2-year plan. Make an 18-month plan. Put something in place. We're not talking about New Year's resolutions. They're shit. I've never known a fucking person in my life that has been to commit to a New Year's resolution. I don't make them. And personally, I'm a Pisces and my birthday's in March, and my new year doesn't start until my birthday. And then when I get to my next birthday, that's my next new year. That's how I do it, right? But don't make a 12-month plan for something and then not be able to reflect and look back on that over time. Do an 18-month plan at least. Have some goals for yourself. Really figure out how you can renew your energy, your vitality, your inner strength, your mental mindset for things. Because I think sometimes we get locked into positions and don't know what to do or which way to turn. Because of past experiences. Sometimes it's like a bit of a knee-jerk reaction, or people get frozen with fear in a sense, because it's like, oh, the last time I did that, you know, but come from a different space with it. Wow. And have that love. Everything is run by love, believe it or not. Even all the evil in the world, there's a love for that for people. So that's how it comes, right? Have that gratitude. Give thanks to Source. Give thanks to Spirit. Give thanks to the angelics. Give thanks to your ancestors, people in your 3D world, people that are helping you, even the people that you're going to have to make peace within yourself, or the situations. Send it off with love. Forgive with love. Have that gratitude. Love. You are that what you need. You are that love that you probably feel like you're lacking, or you give out to people but don't get your needs met. And I know life can be shit sometimes. Honestly, there's no denying that. But this is about you this year. This is your moment. I'm not saying be selfish, but I'm saying don't take shit from people. Put your foot down with things, okay? We've got, I make way for miracles. Beautiful. Hang on a minute. There it is. When you figure out how to come through that door, you've come through to have that renewal energy flow, to make a flow of prosperity or abundance, or a mindset or an idea, or just like a good space for you in yourself, in your mental spaces. Doors are opening for you because of that, because in doing that, you have made the way for miracles to enter your life. Coming from that space of love, coming from that space of gratitude, understanding that a reset has to happen, having that insight. Don't have to be hard on yourself, but you really don't need to go through shit this year. You really just need to work on yourself, work on your career, work on your home life, you know. And I'm not saying work on your marriage or work on your kids' relationship. No, I mean work on yourself. Of course, all those things happen naturally. You know, and sometimes it's against our wishes, sometimes it's against our free will. We're not ready to work on something, but we don't have a choice because we've left it so long. Spirit's going, too bad now, buddy. You know, it's got to happen. So really just make way for those miracles. Do the work, because the door will open. Look at that. That's cool, eh? I love how Spirit does synchronistic shit like that for me when I do reads. Not for me, through me. And we've got my light attracts light. Wow. Beautiful. Just let me channel. Thank you, Spirit. Yeah, as it just takes me right back to the original card of growth. My light attracts light. My light attracts light. What you put out is what you get back. Your light is attracting light. Your light. Look at all the light you've attracted. Look at all the light you're beaming, because you're coming from that mental mindset. You might be doing some Carl Jung stuff, some shadow shit this year. You might be doing goodness knows what. Whatever you decide, you might be doing some Doreen Virtue stuff, even though she's renounced all her shit, who cares? You might be doing some Dolores Cannon stuff, some Sylvia Brown stuff. You might be listening to some manifestation mindset stuff this year, just cruising around in your car or when you're up the street or doing the food shopping, you've got your earphones in and you're listening to these, downloads, these hypnoses or what have you, just living your life. I've struggled to have some communication out of me to you in this reading. You really need to get a handle on that this year. You've got to find your voice. It doesn't have to be external, but you need to find your voice and not come from that rattly space of fear with emotion, please. You really need to work on your intellect, your intel this year. It'll change your life. It will. But yeah, your light attracts light. New people will come, old people will go. Old people will change and so will you. There's situations in our life that we can't necessarily get out of or walk away from sometimes, okay? But embrace it. Your light attracts light. That's so beautiful. I love this deck. Hang on a minute. 2 lots of gratitude. 2 lots of gratitude have come through for you. Light a candle. I said that earlier about the Kuan Yin. Wow. Maybe even having forgiveness for outside sources or outside influences or outside situations out of yourself helps bring in that gratitude. Maybe that will unlock the door that we've seen on that card, coming from that space of love. You don't have to forgive people from a space of, I'm your bestie, or let's hang out, or whatever. I mean, the person you need to forgive could be in spirit for all I know. They could have passed over already. But you got to come from that space of gratitude. In fact, the colours on this card are similar to her. Wow. I wasn't even going to pull out one of these cards today, and Spirit told me to grab one out, which I did. Gratitude, gratitude. That's just a confirmation. You've got double gratitude there. You might get something back from that, okay? And we've got good fortune. Coming from that space of love. That's a really mad symbol. People use that as a witch's symbol. So you could use that symbol, draw it, have it on the phone. Let me even come closer like that. You can take a screenshot of that if you need to. Hang on, there's a shadow. You can, a number 13, lucky number 13. The other one was number 35, right? You need to come from that space of gratitude. You need to have that forgiveness. There's positive change going on for you. You need to come from that space of reflection and work with the community that resonates for you at this time, right? We've also got, we've gone over time. Courage, another number 13. Wow. Time. There is no time like the present, right? You need to work with time. You need to figure out what you can use that for in magical spells. You might need to roll a candle in it. You might need to anoint or consecrate a candle and roll some crushed thyme or something through it, okay? Just figure out, just Google research. I'm not here today to give you lessons on magical workings, but find out how that works for you. If you don't do magic, like this candle card came up and the forgiveness card came up, and I said you might need to light a candle for her, all right? Work with time at this time for this year to help you have that courage that you need, all right? And we've got, I said before about fear-based emotion, agreement. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I love strawberry berries. Number 24. Okay, so this is an agreement here. This is a contracted part of your journey, a contracted part of your path that you have made as a contract with yourself and yourself alone. It's got nothing to do with outside sources. I've said this earlier today in a different way. And I did recommend that you go and do some Akashic stuff this year to have a really good look at your library, to have a good look at things. Now, people misconstrued the Akashic records as a space for divination. It's not. But what you can do is access information about your past and your present. It won't necessarily give you insight about your future. I have seen the Akashic records in multiple different ways. The building, the library, and in particular, I have seen there's these beings, very tall beings, minimum 6 foot and over, and they have extremely long red robes with very, very long hoods that go past sort of, to the back of the knee almost. If they've got knees, you wouldn't know because you can't see what's underneath their robe. Their faces are all covered. It's all dark in that space and their heads slightly drop forward. No negativity, nothing scary, evil, vindictive, or nothing like that. But very, very powerful, and they're all around the outside of the building. of the Akashic Record Library. There's huge big fences and different things and different vines and brambles and everything. And that's how I've seen it more than once in my life. That's that colour there. You need to go in and have a look at your Akashic Record. You need to do a couple of Akashic Record meditations or do an Akashic Record reading on YouTube. If you know somebody personally that does and is certified in Akashic Record readings, that's fine. But don't just go to anybody, any reader, and say, can I have an Akashic Record reading, please? I can do it. That's not an issue. There are a couple of other women amongst my mix that I know that can also do it. But other people, there's a lot of people that don't understand the Akashic. I actually know a lady personally whose family, her bloodline runs right back to the keepers of the Akashic Records. I mean, it's 2025 and I'm talking real mystical shit because it's a real life thing, right? You've agreed to go through this part of your journey where you need to not be fear-based by emotion, but to forgive situations and people and to come from that headspace now where, well, you know, I've got to knuckle down and get shit done. It's nothing personal. I'm working on myself this year. And of course, be emotion. Of course, feel emotion. We are emotion. But don't use emotion to propel you this year like you do normally. Come from that intellect, okay? Well, we've got productivity, wicked. I love it. The Kent pumpkin. Maybe make some pumpkin soup. Okay. You need to work with the gratitude that you've been asked to work with. You've been working with courage. You need to get that happening for you. Like I said, 2 lots of gratitude, okay? Community, however that looks for you. You've got to come from that space of reflection. You've got to be productive this year with this endeavour. I said it earlier, it'll change your life. Your initial messages are about coming from that insight, that reflection, that renewal, that growth for you. Love is in your cards, literally. Love is in the cards, literally, right? Now, that could mean anything for you, romantic or other. I'm not here to pull on that information. But either way, it's very important for you to be productive this year, to work on what that gratitude and that growth means for you personally. And your final card, your angel card number, and the number you need to work with this year is 1010. And it says, I am patient. Keep your thoughts positive and be patient as everything is working out for your highest good. Trust that your angels are working behind the scenes to help you. As I said, there they are, all right? There they are. You're being divinely guided. This is part of your journey. It might feel like somewhat of a solitary journey for you this year, but not as in isolation and on your own, but more so just a level of growth that people can't comprehend because they're not you. You know, just because we're parallel with people, it doesn't mean anything. People parallel park, people parallel parent. It's not co-parent, it's not a co-journey, it's not a co-growth for you. This is a part of your personal contract to do with the Akashic Records, to do with what your karma represents. People don't understand what karma is. People say all the time, oh, you know, karma's going to get that person, karma, karma, karma. You can generate karma all by yourself, for yourself, because you didn't do something you were supposed to. Bang, automatically there will be a karmic effect from that. And karma doesn't necessarily present itself in this life. It generates for the next or the next. It doesn't work that way. Somebody might do something really bad to another person and then they might lose their job and people go, ha ha ha, that's karma. No, it's not. That's not karma. That's divine intervention. That ain't karma. Big difference. Karma's a doing word, right? It's an action word. It's what you do. I hope this helps you. Actually, you know what? I'm going to pull fucking one more. Anomaly. Oh, there's all your spirit world again. Look, see? Because your light attracts light. Wow! What else we got here? Because your light attracts light. And we've got perspective. Wow. It's upside down, hanging from the tree. But is it though? You know what I mean? Is it though? It's how you perceive things, come from a different perspective. Like I said, you might feel a bit isolated this year in a sense that you are trying to have that growth around you in ways people wouldn't understand. But we don't need to get irritable, and we've got distance. Yeah, but there's your light. You've got your guides watching out over you. I just said about the ISO stuff, all right? And the other card I pulled out was fear. I did say earlier, don't come from that fear. Look at all the support you've got here. Look at all that support, and you're on that. That's scarecrow was there designed to keep the birds away, but not you. You face that fear this year. You face that fear and go, fuck it, bring it on. And we've got mischief. Beautiful. You could have a familiar or a cat in spirit, all right? Or that could just be a message of Bastet. She's with you. You really need to play this year and also have some fun. Observation. And there's the lights up there again. All right, look, spider. Beautiful. A web. Web's a good luck. Spider's a good luck. Look, it's watching it. It's not interested in causing harm or discord in any way, but it's reflecting. There's a reflection. It's an observation. It's a perspective. It's a very different view from that spider to that bird. Exactly the same moment in time, exactly the same timeline, exactly the same world, but a different perspective, all right? You're supported everywhere you go. There's that light of yours. I hope this helps you. Blessed 2025 fire signs. I'll be back. Much love, Sage.